I'd like to show you how to do what I call the ultimate fruit salad or fruit cocktail. I'm going to take grapefruit, oranges, apples, and grapes, a little bit of apple juice. And I'm going to start by cutting my grapefruit up. Now, most often people cut the grapefruit like this. That's not pretty, but it'll still be good. Anyway, most people cut the grapefruit like this, and then you have to section every one off, and it's a real pain and tedious. If you do what I call off-center cutting, you take this belly button and cut off center straight down, we're going to end up sectioning off nice big pieces of grapefruit. It's going to have the divider of the sections in between that will give you that pectin and vitamins and fiber you need, and it gives you chances to see just to get these seeds out of there at the same time, right? You cut this off and that's okay. Now, I'm going to save some of these pieces. Let's wedge them all off. If you were to be out in the fields where they pull these out and harvest them, they take their fingers like this and they just get a big piece of grapefruit out like that, and then they eat it. We can use that anyway, section it off. And yes, I leave the white on. This is good for you, okay? It tastes great too. And I section that off. I'm using a serrated edge knife. I used a smooth edge to start. And this is a serrated edge. It has those little ripples to it. And you'll notice I'm leaving some of the flesh or the juicy part there. And that's because I'm going to squeeze the juice out. Now this piece was a little, well, that's too little big. We can just cut a little smaller. Won't hurt anything. Again, you see me doing that. Sectioning off the pieces. It's not going to hurt you if you get a little white. You don't have to have culinary training, but you do need to be careful, okay? You don't want to cut yourself. But just take your time and go through this. You can spend as much time or as little time as you want to on this. You can spend an hour and make a whole big batch. Last you for about a week and a half in the refrigerator. You see I'm going pretty quick here. And I'm making fast use of that grapefruit, much faster than having to go section by section from the other side. Nice big chunks. You want to put this in the refrigerator afterwards, get it nice and cold. It's really refreshing, be a great start to the morning. That's my grapefruit. That's more than enough for one person. Let's do the orange, same way. First I'll squeeze that guy out. Again, off-center cut, take the belly button, go just straight down and off of it, get the wedges. And we'll get some nice pieces out of it. With your cutting board, I don't know if you do this or not, but I do. I always leave my handle right here in case I have something I want to scrape off into the sink like that. It goes right down the hole. Again, sectioning off. Gently cutting the serrated edges, squeezing the juice. Get these nice big chunks. It's okay if you leave a little juice on the side there. Squeeze it out. We're using the whole thing, getting all the fiber, getting all the good pieces of orange and apple, or orange and grapefruit. That's a nice big one right there. You can take some of that and throw it away if you don't want it. With a little saw motion, you can see how it kind of cuts those right out. Again, leaving that part there to squeeze the juice. You can see I'm getting some good juice in the bottom there. I love the grapefruit juice because it's a little tart. We're going to use apple juice to kind of fill in. We need the citric acid. That's going to keep our apples from turning color. You know, apples, if you leave them out once you cut them, tend to kind of brown a little bit. And this orange juice and grapefruit juice will actually help keep those apples from turning. Here's my orange, got some orange. Okay, let's do an apple. Again, off center. You're watching for the seeds and the stalk in this. They have that little piece there. It's almost like plastic. You want to kind of get that out of there. Don't worry about it. Just cut around it. And cut that. I'll save that later. I'll eat around that and eat it. Get those little pieces out of there. When I'm cutting the apple, what I'm going to do, come here now, cut those little pieces out of there. I'm going to put it with the skin side down. I like to leave the skin on. There's a lot of nutrients in the skin, more fiber. Apples are a negative caloric food. What that means is that it takes more calories to digest a whole apple than the calories that are in the apple themselves. And celery is the same way. You can see how I'm doing that. I'm using the skin to kind of give me a firm spot to start the cut with. And just going nicely across. Some people cut like this if you're a fancy chef, but as long as you're careful, it doesn't really matter. Mix those in there. Looking at this salad right now, I might be okay with just half of an apple, because we're going to need some more juice, but we'll see. And I'm happy with that so far. Let's put some grapes on top. Take them right off the vine. As I said before, if your grapes are a little bit wilted, if they start kind of getting mushy looking from being in the refrigerator too long, if you keep them in a salad like this, they will re-plump up again. The other way to use them is to freeze them. My grandkids always liked frozen grapes. Now, as you can see, we need some more juice. We're going to use apple juice for that, because apple juice is the generic sweetener of juices. I don't want too much because I want some more grapefruit juice. Like I said, I want tart. So now that I'm going for juice, I'm actually going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to cut it right down this way, and we're going to destroy this, but get a lot of juice out of it. I'm going to use my fingers close together as a strainer, kind of keeping an eye if I get some seeds. A few small seeds won't hurt you unless you are really prone to something called diverticulitis, in which case any small seed can be a problem. But we're just going to squeeze this thing. I'm going to go ahead and use my thumb and kind of get some of the pulp and juice in there. Just going to keep squeezing it until I get almost everything out of it. And I like that tart grapefruit juice. Almost everything we can out of it. Other side, you can see some of those seeds. You can just brush them out right away if you want. And then again, using my fingers close together, squeezing the juice in there, letting the seeds come through if they do. Just some of that pulp in there. It's that citric acid that's going to keep those apples from turning color. It'll be really good. And there you go. Kind of like a fruit soup. But I'm telling you, you put that in the refrigerator overnight, let it get nice and cold, very refreshing to the start of your day. And sometimes a nice dessert. So thanks for giving me some time to share with you how to make the ultimate and delicious fruit salad, fruit cocktail. I'm Matt Trusella. Hope to see you again.